Hi, welcome to my station. Today I will show you the recap of a 2014 sentiment film named The Maid. Spoiler warning, watch out and take care. The film begins with Jack, who goes to Britain to visit his dad David for his birthday. After showing up at David's home, David attempts to welcome him charmingly, however he furiously answers. He says he wished the driver didn't get the area so he could get back to America. He calls out to his dad by him David, notwithstanding that David calls him child. David takes him to his room and asks him why he hates him so much. Jack replies that if David gives him a complete booklet he will write the reasons in the booklet. He asks David to stop calling him a son and walks David out of his room. Jack retires to bed that night, and the following day as he wakes he goes towards his window and sits there smoking. He sees a beautiful lady walking in the garden and walks towards her. He leaves his room and peeps at the lady, who is busy spreading some clothes. David meets him there and taps him. He asks David who the lady is, and David tells him the lady is Maria, his new maid. David mocks him that he knows why he is peeping at Maria and says Maria is beautiful and she is also an excellent cook, so that's why he employed her. Maria walks towards them, and he introduces Maria to Jack and tells Jackie is going for a meeting. David leaves and leaves Jack in the care of Maria. Jack requests a drink and Maria brings it for him. She engages him in a conversation and asks him, assuming that he will remain long in Britain. He tells Maria he will remain for some time as he and David aren't close. Maria expects he is nearer to his mom, so she inquires as to whether he is nearer to his mom as opposed to answering. Jack lashes out and leaves. He strolls to his room and Maria enters to apologize. She gets some information about his mother and he tells her she is gone. Maria is stunned at this data, as data she heard from David that he was as of late separated from. She lets David know this and he flies off the handle again. He gets his camera and goes to the town. He takes irregular photos of the climate. While going for the photos he strolls adjacent to a young lady. He gets back and Maria approaches him to apologize again. He tells her his mom is dead and his mom kicked the bucket during labor. He says he feels answerable for his mom's demise and Maria solaces him. He says the spouse David is discussing as his stepmother Linda. It is night and Maria leaves their home. David returns around evening time and requests that Jack go out with him, however Jack won't go out with him. The following morning Jack goes out to take his arbitrary pictures. The woman he saw on the way the day preceding approaches him and presents herself as Becky. She inquires as to whether he is visiting the area with his family or sweetheart, yet Jack answers in any case. Maria passes by on her bike and Jack gazes at her. Becky notification something between them, so she asks and Jack says they are companions. Jack gets back and meets with Maria in the kitchen. Maria says she saw him with another companion and inquires as to whether he has a sweetheart. He answers in any case and expresses none of the young ladies around his age entice. Maria gets some information about his age and he says 17. Maria remarks that he will before long be 18 as David tells her he is coming to praise his birthday. After hearing David's name he flies off the handle and leaves again. Maria meets him in the nursery and talks with him. She says she comprehends what he feels and how he feels ignored by David. She says there is a way guardians kids up. He tells her he stays with Uncle Donald in America. He tells her he noticed she was down when she heard about his mother and asks her if she has lost someone close to her too. She replies affirmatively and says it was a long time ago. They get to know each other and she explains her background to him. She says she was born in Germany and relocated to England about 2 years ago. She tells him she learned English while watching American movies as a kid and she is fluent in 3 languages. They enter for lunch. During lunch he tells her he is very comfortable talking to her. They return outside and Maria tries to change the conversation. She asks him what he wants for his birthday and if he wants something memorable, however he tells her he hates celebrating birthdays. Maria insists he celebrate his birthday and he angrily walks out. Again Maria goes into his room to cheer him up. He confides in her that his birthday is also his mother's death day and any time he thinks of celebrating his birthday he feels extremely remorseful. He asks her who she lost that made her that miserable. At first she would have rather not told him, yet she alters her perspective. She lets him know that when she was 17 years of age, like him, she fell head over heels for a young man and she got pregnant with him. The kid demands she cuts short the kid, which she would rather not, so she chooses to keep the pregnancy. She concealed the pregnancy from her folks for some time yet. When they figured out they were enraged at her folks were strict and they were against early termination, so they permitted all her the pregnancy. Anyway, after she conceived an offspring they constrained her to give the kid for reception. She says she had never pardoned her parent and she didn't go to her dad's memorial service for a similar explanation. He moves towards her to comfort her, yet David shows up. David addresses Maria for some time and afterward chats with Jack. He tells Jack he is making a trip to see a client in Paris, so Jack will enjoy his birthday with Maria. Jack laments visiting and lashes out. Soon thereafter Maria and Jack talk again. Maria gets some information about Jack's stepmother and the way that they related. Jack portrays that at first he didn't know Linda wasn't his mom until Linda brought forth her child Matthew. From that point forward Linda maltreated him for Matthew, and his dad was excessively occupied to see. One day he saw his mom's image and asked Linda joyfully let him know she wasn't his mom. Maria prompts that since David is currently separated from Jack ought to allow David another opportunity. They finish their discussion and watch a film. Jack takes a gander at Maria enticingly. That evening he sees Maria's image and jerks off. The following day is his birthday. Maria goes out that morning and sees her ex Jacob. She welcomes Jacob in for espresso and Jacob utilizes that potential chance to ask her for a relationship. Again Jack pays attention to this discussion while peeping by the entryway. After Jacob leaves, Jack goes to Maria, wishes him a blissful birthday, and he requests his birthday young lady. She asks him what he wants and he tells her he wants her. He says he wants to touch her and hold her. She stops him and reminds him he is a kid. She says it is wrong and she will never do something like that with him. He walks away and sits down. He accuses her of still loving her ex-boyfriend and asks if she wants to get back with him. She tries to talk calmly and asks him to stop talking like that. She tells him he didn't love her, instead he wants a mother and she isn't his mother. He gets her to be his mother and asks her to make him her son. He tries to touch her breast and she slaps him. At about the same time they hear a knock. The visitor is Becky and she asks Jack to go out with her. Jack leaves home and takes a walk with Becky. On the way he tells Becky it's his birthday and he can't get what he wants. Becky offers to give him what he wants and asks him to follow her home, but he declines her offer. He tells her she is a good girl but he is in love with someone else. He returns home and meets Maria crying. He blames her for cherishing him and says that on the off chance that she doesn't adore him, for what reason did she won't go. She sees one self-caused injury for his hands and embraces him. While they embrace he contacts her bosom. Maria gets in the mindset as well and eliminates her dress. He feels her sincerely until she gets back to her sense and requests that he stop. She wears her dress back and goes to the parlor. Jack comes to meet her and they talk. She reminds him they have no future together and inquires as to whether he has at any point had a sweetheart or closeness. She calls him a youngster and he lashes out. He says she presumably leaves anybody she cherishes, which is the reason she left her kid. He tells her he will commit suicide assuming that she leaves him, so she goes nearer to him and they make out. After their profound time she converses with him about making up with his dad and requests that he guarantee her he will fix things up with his dad soon thereafter. While Maria and Jack contact each other in the kitchen, David shows up. David gives Jack a birthday present and requests to eat with him that evening. However, Jack rejects and leaves them. Maria goes to support Jack and asks Jack to go for supper, so Jack acknowledges. During the supper he calls his dad a knave. He calls him unfeeling and cold. He says David couldn't have cared less about his mom, and David rejects that. He says he cherished his mom yet he needed to remarry on the grounds that he didn't believe David should grow up without a mother. He lets him know he adored him and his stepbrother similarly, and he never faulted Jack for his mom's demise. As they talk, Jack works off. The next day Jack stays before the house to anticipate Maria's appearance. He tells Maria not to go to work and tells her he wishes to go through the day with her, so they go to her home together. They start to make out, yet Maria unexpectedly stops. She tells her she has a remark to him and that she went to find her child after she left her folks. After figuring out his area, she figured out he was dead. He was associated with a quick in and out and he drained to death. She says she faults herself for itself and Jack reassures her. They have their most memorable intercourse that day. After getting back, David asks his child briefly possibility and Jack says he will think of it. As the following morning Jack packs his heaps to leave Britain. Prior to leaving, he inquires as to whether she will visit him, yet Maria will not make a commitment. Yet they kiss each other. As Jack plans to enter the taxi, David requests an embrace. Incredibly, Jack acknowledges the embrace. David watches the taxi as it leaves and the film closes. Thank you for watching the recap. Sympathetically buy into our feed to get informed when we post the following recap. See you sometime later.